Welcome everyone. In today's video, I'll be doing a step-by-step guide to generating passive income using the Solana blockchain, and you can do this with as little as $500. So I just wanted to get some disclaimers out of the way first. None of this is financial advice, and in the matters of your own personal finance, you should definitely be doing your own research and not blindly trusting anyone online. Now that I've got that out of the way, I wanted to explain a little bit more about how we'll be generating passive income using the Solana blockchain. So if you weren't already aware, there is a whole decentralized financial system existing across various different blockchains in the crypto space. So decentralized finance is a blockchain-based form of finance that does not rely on central financial intermediaries such as brokerages, exchanges, or banks to offer traditional financial instruments, and instead utilizes smart contracts on blockchains. So DeFi allows a whole new set of tools for investors to use, or regular people like you or me that wouldn't normally be accessible to them unless they were ultra high net worth. And one great thing about decentralized finance, or DeFi, is the fact that the yields that you can get on US dollars or stable coins, which are effectively coins that reflect the value of a US dollar, the yields that you can get are far superior to what you might see in centralized finance. And this is, for several reasons. First of all is risk. A lot of this is unproven technology, so you're taking on the risk of losing your money if you're using all of these decentralized finance protocols. So naturally the yields are going to be higher. Second of all, you don't have as much overhead. So a lot of the top DeFi teams out there, they might have like 10 people max working on a project, and therefore their overhead is very little. So they don't need to charge a lot of money for their services. So for example, if we take a look at this website here, it's just comparing all of the high interest savings accounts available in America. So we've got like 0.5% APY, 0.6% APY. Now these rates are embarrassingly low. And if you think about it, inflation is like 2 to 3% a year. So by putting your money into a savings account, it's actually being devalued like 2% a year if you're going for one of these high yield savings accounts. But in crypto, in the blockchain decentralized finance space, you can easily find consistent yields above 10% APY and even higher, but this depends on how much risk you want to take. And if you actually don't want to make this passive income anymore, you want to make it active income, you have to check on it every day, then the higher yields you can get. But in this video, I'm going to go for the lower yield strategies that you can do passively. And in today's video, we'll be taking a look into the Solana decentralized finance ecosystem. What I like about Solana, especially for people who are new to the sort of crypto ecosystem, is the fact that the fees are very cheap on Solana. They're fractions of a penny, which means that you don't really have to worry too much about paying gas fees, because on other blockchains, they are quite restrictive with how much activity you can do, because the fees can be, upwards of $100, for example, on Ethereum, or other blockchains like Avalanche, for example. They can still be, up to $10 if you're trying to do a transaction. But Solana, it's really cheap and it's fast as well. And so it's ideal for a beginner to go ahead and start learning the decentralized finance ecosystem. So to actually get started with Solana, you're going to need to do a couple of things. So the first thing is you're going to need to download a Phantom wallet and then fund it. So you can go to the Phantom website, download it as a browser extension to your Google Chrome. And then once you're all set up, you're going to need to buy Solana from a centralized exchange. So you can check CoinGecko out, click on Sol, then click on the exchanges, and then you can see all of the different centralized exchanges of which you can buy Solana from. I recommend FTX. I think that it's probably one of the best centralized exchanges out there, and I have a link in the description down below that will save you 5% off on fees. And then once you've bought your Solana, you're going to need to deposit it into your Phantom account, and I'll just show you quickly on the screen how you can do that now. And then once you have that Sol in your Phantom wallet, we're going to go to Jupiter Aggregator, which is a decentralized exchange where you can swap your Sol for USDC. And then with that USDC, we'll visit a number of different decentralized finance protocols where we'll be able to find some high yields on that. So you're going to need to convert most of your SOL into USDC. I recommend that you have at least 0.1 SOL left in your wallet, because when you do things like swaps or depositing into a new protocol, a bit of rent will be taken out of your account, but you can always claim those back, and I'll show you at the end of the video how to do so. But 0.1 SOL ideally is what you'd want to keep in your account. So I'll swap over 2.87, and I'll swap over 2.87 SOL into USDC, and that's roughly $493. And what we see here is a little notice that says that if we swap on Serum, it requires an open order account to be created with a deposit of 0.02 SOL to be made. So you'll encounter stuff like this because you're new to the Solana blockchain. Essentially, a little bit of rent is taken out of your wallet to just store like token data. Even though the fees are really cheap, you're still going to need a little bit for all of those open account orders. So I'm going to do a swap now. I'm going to press approve. And there we go. So I've swapped most of my SOL into USDC. And now that I've done that, we're going to take a look at a few DeFi projects that will offer good yields on your USDC. So the first one we're going to take a look at is Tulip. And Tulip is a leveraged yield farming protocol. So yield farming is a process of lending or staking crypto in order to generate high returns or rewards in the form of another cryptocurrency. So people can come here and then do leveraged yield farming. But we're not going to be taking advantage of that because I think that it is rather risky and you expose yourself to the prices of various different cryptocurrencies where you don't really know where the price of them is going long term. So to facilitate this leveraged yield farming, Tulip allows for people to lend out their assets to these leveraged yield farmers, and by doing that you can receive a return. So if we go to the lending tab here, we see that USDC and USDT, they're both US dollar stablecoins. They're offering you about 8.39% APY. Now this number can fluctuate by quite a bit according to the utilization ratio. This utilization ratio goes all the way up to 100%, and right now it's sitting at 53%. Once we start nearing 90% utilization, the amount that you can receive on your deposited USDC skyrockets. So it might go up as high as, like 30%, even higher than that, as we start creeping up higher and higher above that 90% utilization ratio. And that utilization ratio is there to encourage more people to go ahead and deposit USDC, as well as encouraging some leveraged yield farmers to close down their positions because it might not be worth it to them anymore to hold that position open if they're paying a lot of money to borrow like USDC. So as you can see here, there are other assets that you can lend out to receive quite a high yield on. DeFi Land is paying out 137% APY. Gene 110%, Cave 137%, but the prices of those tokens could go anywhere over the long term. It doesn't really matter if you've got like a high APY if it dumps like 90% over the course of like 3 months. So we'll be focusing on these stablecoins where their value will be tied to the value of the US dollar. So to use Tulip, we're going to connect our wallet, and then we're going to deposit. So I already have $1,000 sitting here on Tulip, but I'm going to show you how to deposit some money. So all you need to do is press the amount that you want, or you can press max if you want to put your entire stack of USDC into here. But I recommend that you spread out your risk between different decentralized finance protocols because you never know exactly what will happen. In crypto, anything can happen. Tulip could get hacked. You might lose all your money. Something else might happen where you lose all your money. If you put your money in lots of different DeFi protocols, you reduce the risk of getting absolutely ruined if any one of them goes down. So I'm going to deposit $150 here. So you should press deposit, and then we'll press approve. And this number should go up to 1,150, hopefully. So if we press refresh, there we go. The deposited amount has now gone up to $1,150. And then if you wanted to remove money from here as well, all you would need to do is type in how much you want to remove. So I do that, press withdraw, and then press approve again. Now the APY rates, as I said before, are going to fluctuate wildly on Tulip as market conditions fluctuate as well. When we're in a strong raging bull market, a lot more people will want to do leveraged yield farming, and so the demand for USDT and USDC is going to rise up, and the APYs that you can get depositing into Tulip are going to rise as well. But if we go into a bear market and then the prices of crypto start going down, there'll be less demand for leverage, and then the APYs for USDC is going to start going down as well. So you have to be aware of that. This number is going to fluctuate massively over time. So the next protocol that I wanted to take a look at is Francium. So Francium is a leverage yield farming platform as well. It's fairly similar to Tulip. They also have a lend tab of their own to facilitate all of the leveraged yield farming. So the rates on Francium and Tulip are going to be different because they're two different platforms. They have different users, they have different utilization ratios, they have different assets that you can farm, but they're going to be similar in the USDC, USDT APYs that you can receive. For right now, the Francium ones are higher, but that could obviously change in the future as well. So as you can see here, the utilization ratio, as soon as you start going near 90%, the amount that you can get on your USDC when you're lending it out, skyrockets as well. So fairly similar to Tulip in that respect. So I already have $1,000 in this pool, but I'll show you how to use it. So all you need to do is press deposit, and then you can type in how much you want to deposit. Obviously 25%, 50 or 100%. I'm just going to type in $150 for now. So this is the borrowing interest APR that people are paying to borrow USDC, and a cut of that goes to Francium as well. And this is the APY that I'm receiving for lending out my USDC. So I'm going to press it. So I'm going to press deposit, and then approve. And so when I refresh this, we should see my new position be 1,150. So I'm going to do that, and there we go. And so the same thing to withdraw. All you would need to do is press withdraw, and then you can withdraw whatever amount that you want to. I'll just show you now. Let me just take out that $150. We press withdraw and then press approve. And then when I refresh this, my position's gone back down to $1,000 in Francium. So the next protocol we're going to take a look at is Mango Markets. So Mango Markets allows for spot margin trading as well as perpetual futures trading, which is quite nice because a lot of people won't have access to this in centralized finance. Say for example, FTX, if you KYC and you're from a restricted jurisdiction, they won't allow you to use perpetual futures or spot margin. So you can go ahead and use Mango Markets, which is decentralized, and that allows anyone to go ahead and take on those positions. And what makes Mango Markets really unique is that whenever you deposit collateral into Mango Markets, it automatically starts earning a deposit rate. So if we go down here, any deposited USDC is automatically starting to earn 1.33% APY. And you can deposit all sorts of different assets in here as well. If I go up to the stats tab, we can see that you can lend out USDC, Mango, Bitcoin, ETH, USDT, Ray, and you have some quite high rates here, especially for Ray. But to go ahead and use Mango Markets, all you'd need to do is log into your account, and then you'd need to deposit some money. So I'm just going to deposit 100 USDC in here for now. And if you've not used Mango Markets before, it will ask you to make an account, and it will take some SOL from your wallet. So in this estimated balance changes, it will say your USDC amount, and it will also take out a little bit of SOL from your wallet as well. And that's all that's required to open up an account at Mango Markets. So if you feel as if the rates at Mango Markets aren't quite high enough to justify opening that account, then that's totally up to you. There are other DeFi protocols out there where you can still get high yield. So obviously don't feel obligated to pay that fee on Mango Markets if you don't wish to. So the next couple of projects that we're going to be taking a look at are money markets. So the way that money markets work is that you can deposit collateral here and then borrow against it. So you can deposit SOL here, for example, and then borrow USDC against it. But for our purposes, we're looking to make it nice and easy for ourselves to generate passive income. We're going to simply be depositing USDC into Solend. So the supply APY is simply the amount of yield that you get for depositing your assets onto Solend. So for USDC, it's 6.13% APY, and USDT, it's almost 7% APY. So I'll show you how to use Solend. What you would need to do is click on USDC. We'd press supply. So let's just say I want to supply 50 USDC. And then I can start making that 6% APY straight away. So I'm going to approve that transaction. And we're going to see my assets supplied here go from $468 to $518. There we go. And if we wanted to withdraw our USDC from Solend, you could either click on the USDC bar here, or click over here where it says assets supplied, and then we press withdraw, and then you can type in the amount that you want to withdraw, and then we can confirm that transaction in our wallet. So it will show us, it should say USDC and then plus 50 USDC. So we'll press approve. And that's done. And my wallet balance has gone all the way back down to $468 on Solend. So the next project we're going to take a look at is Pol Aggregator, which requires a little bit more of an active approach if you want to really maximize the yields that you can receive with Pol Aggregator. So Pol Aggregator is essentially leveraged yield farming on stablecoins. So you can deposit stablecoins into Pol Finance, and that will earn you 7.54% APY. So what they do with your stablecoins is that they deposit it into Pol Finance, and they borrow against those stablecoins, deposit it again, borrow against it, deposit it again, in what's known as a recursive lending and borrowing loop. So for the most part, it's safe, and you can earn 7.54% APY for doing so. You could do that process yourself, but it will take quite a while to start winding up and quite a while to start winding down. And then you also have to monitor that position to make sure that the borrowing rate does not exceed the supply rate. But you can go ahead and use Pol Aggregator to actually mimic that effect, but you'll be paying them a small fee for doing so. So when you withdraw, you'll be paying them a 0.1% fee. So to use Pol Aggregator, you need to deposit an amount of USDC. So I'll do this, and that will automatically start earning the 7.54% APY. So I'm going to approve this transaction. So we've got two approvals going on here. 10 USDC will be taken from my account, and I will receive Pol USDC. So I'll press approve. And now that money's in. So this is my deposited amount. And you can see here that it also says 22.62% APY. So in total, you can receive 29% APY for using Pol Finance. But this APY number comes from the Pol Finance token itself. So to incentivize people to use Pol Finance, they'll give you a Pol token, and they'll give you 22.62% APY on the amount that you deposited. So I'd receive $2.26 if the APY for that stayed the same for my initial $10 deposit. And so to actually claim these tokens, you need to go to Query Finance, and then go to this area where it says Pol Aggregator, press View Queries, and then we'll press Stake. And then we deposit our Pol Aggregator USDC, like so. We'll press approve, and then we should start seeing this number rapidly rise up. There we go. We've deposited our Pol Aggregator USDC, and we're going to start earning Pol tokens. So you can press claim. That will send these tokens into your wallet. I'm not going to do it right now because it's such a small amount of tokens that I will receive. It won't be worth it paying the network fees. But once this becomes a substantial amount, you can claim them, sell off these tokens, and then buy more stablecoins if you wanted to. Re-enter this farm and start, getting that true APY number that you see here. So the very last way of generating passive income I wanted to talk about today is by going back to Francium, and we'll be clicking on farming strategies. So what you have here are delta neutral farming strategies. So essentially what happens is that they take a leveraged long position on Ethereum and a leveraged short position on Ethereum. meaning that when you account for those two actions, they cancel each other out, meaning that the price exposure to Ethereum will be 0 on your portfolio, but you'll be able to harvest these yields. So they're promising 62% APR on the Radium Wormhole ETH USDC pair, and a 68% APR on the Orca pair. So for right now, they're not accepting any more money into this pseudo delta neutral hedging strategy. If you want to read more about it and potentially do it yourself, you should go into the docs and read the strategy description. But I'm not going to cover it in this video because it's a little bit more advanced. If you want to learn more about this strategy, I have a video on my channel and I will link it in the description down below. So I spoke to you guys earlier about needing some extra Sol in your wallet to pay for open order accounts, but you also have empty token accounts. So we're going to deraffle.io/tools to the wallet cleanup tool, and this will allow us to claim back some Sol. So although it is generally obscured behind a single fee displayed to you by dApps, there is generally a cost to opening and keeping open each token account, and that's 0.02 Sol. I have 42 empty token accounts, and at today's prices, which is roughly $180 per Sol, so I have $15 that I can have refunded to me. So once you close these accounts, you'll be able to receive 0.002 Sol for each account that you closed. So you can individually select the account that you want to close, or you can close all 27 accounts at once. Additionally, you can claim your open order account rent back by going to swap.symmetry.finance, clicking on this cog, and then clicking on view open order accounts. Once you've done that, you'll have a massive list of tokens that you have open order accounts for. Many of these tokens you won't even use anymore, so it makes sense to go ahead and close them. So on this website here, it says here that there have been a total of 73 DeFi exploits that have occurred, with lost funds amounting to approximately $1.5 billion at the time of these exploits. So that's a lot of money that has been stolen, and none of those people expected their money to be stolen from them. So that's one risk that you have to keep in mind. Definitely make sure that you spread all of your money across several different protocols. So if you put all of your money into, let's say, Francium, for example, and that gets hacked and you lose all your and then then you've lost all your money, and there's no one that you can complain to. There's no way of getting that money back for the most part, unless the Francium team want to be kind and reimburse you, but it's most likely that they won't be able to. You have to plan for the worst when it comes to crypto. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to check out the rest of my channel. I talk a lot about decentralized finance and Solana. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.